Welcome back to another Mommy and Me Monday. If you are new here, I am Brii Renee, straight from the A.
And I'm the original Miss Renee from the A.
Anyways, please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe to our channel. Never miss a Mommy and Me Monday. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Put your mama on game, your auntie, your grandma, your baby mama, your mama, the baby mama. You know what Outkast said. Put everybody help because I think we have the number one podcast, literally. The number one podcast for millennials and older women. What generation are you? Baby boomer?
I think they call us baby boomers, yeah.
Well, we're the number one podcast for they old butts too. But we always bringing you raw, unfiltered, unapologetic content where we, just keep it real with each other and with you. So welcome back to another episode. How you feeling?
I'm feeling wonderful. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Well, we're gonna go right into the episode. A lot of people ask me questions about, we've been very vocal about you going through the artificial insemination process and how you had very little pickings of finding a sperm donor. It was very difficult and what that process was like. If you missed that, you got to go back to the other episodes and watch because we did a whole episode on that process of it, right? But now that I'm here, I got all 10 fingers and toes, and I say you picked a really good donor. I like the way I look. I like how smart I am. I don't got too many health issues. You know what I'm saying? I'm healthy. Other than like asthma. My asthma be acting up.
Okay, I don't think that had a lot to do with the donor, but,
Anyways, now that I'm here, people often ask me like, oh, do you want to find your dad? What is it like? Do you think your mom would be upset if you went looking for your dad? And things like that. So I want to talk about like, now that I'm here, now that I'm grown, what that conversation looked like when you had to come clean and tell me about it. And then like, where do we go from here?
Well, we've gone from there. Telling you about that was 15 years ago.
Were you scared to tell me?
Yeah, because I didn't want you to get into your own head, about a lot of unnecessary bullshit.
Like what? What you thought? I was
am I okay? Am I mentally? All the dumb shit that people.
I am a little crazy. You think that's why?
Oh no, I don't think that's why.
I'm a science project.
Yeah, well, you're crazy because you allowed yourself to be crazy in your own head and think about all the unnecessary things too far, when none of that matters. Finding your father, why? I mean, he didn't want you to be found. He didn't want to be found. I mean, because that's why, there was so much anonymity in that process. So I think it's important to not get caught up into that. He did us a favor. He gave us a gift. We utilized that gift, and voila, here you are.
Would you be offended if I went looking for him?
No, I wouldn't be offended, but the chances of you finding him is slim to none. And you got to why put yourself through that? Because, you may be setting yourself up for some rejection.
That's how I feel. That's why I always never felt like, let me go looking for him. Because what if he be like, even people who have like been adopted, when sometimes they go back and look for their parents, them parents be like, I don't want to know you.
Right. And then why set yourself up for that?
I literally gave you away for that reason.
Right.
That's horrible to say. But
or they gave you away because they knew that you would be in a better place than what they could provide for you. They loved you enough to allow you to be cared for by somebody else that was in a better position to take care of you.
What you think he thought?
He thought that he was multiplying, making the world fruitful, and I don't know what the hell he thought, but I'm not questioning that, I'm grateful for his thinking, whatever it was. Maybe he figured that, he would love to have some connection to some people here in this country,
Well, he ain't connected to me. Where he at? We ain't connected.
But that's not knowing, who you are wasn't the I don't think was the, his thought or the process. I just think that he wanted to leave a little bit of himself behind.
Well, he's Middle Eastern, so I always felt like he owned a gas station somewhere on the south side or a liquor store. And I feel like you owe me some money or some free gas, one.
No. He doesn't owe you anything. No, he doesn't owe you anything.
What a deadbeat dad.
No, he's not a deadbeat dad.
Why not?
Because he's not. He's not. He didn't owe you anything. I chose to do that. He just allowed me to fulfill a dream, a desire that I had. Nobody forced me to do it. Nobody owe you anything.
But he did it. Not only did he donate, he had to donate multiple times, right?
Don't know. Yes.
Because I have siblings by him.
Yes.
So I remember when I was younger and we had the first conversation, you tried to introduce me to my siblings.
And you were rebellious. You pushed back from it. You didn't want to be a part of it, and I let it go. And I let those connections go. I said, forget it. That's not what you wanted. I wasn't going to force it on you. And I was done with it. How have you changed your mind? Maybe. And now that you got to find out on your own. I don't have those connections anymore. It is what it is.
I ain't really tripping.
Right.
I wasn't really tripping in. I don't know if that was out of a defense mechanism or I just felt like, well, I got a sister and she get on my nerves, so why would I want another one?
Mm-hmm.
Or I already got a family. I ain't missing nothing. Why? What am I looking for?
Right.
But why did you want me to meet them?
No, I didn't necessarily want you to meet them. I just wanted you to know that my reasoning was just to allow you to know that you are not the only one. There are others out there just like you. So you wouldn't feel like you were an alien or something.
That's what people still treated me like.
Well, that's because people are ignorant, and people are still ignorant. But we are just, I should say, our race of people. Because, see, the other races have been doing it and were well with the results years before we started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
White folks been doing it for years. Most of the time, black folks, we couldn't afford to do it.
You said it wasn't that expensive though, right?
It was expensive enough back there into that time, and it's more expensive now. Considering, the time that we were in, it was expensive. You wasn't free. You were more than a bag of chips and a Coca-Cola.
Well, gee, thanks.
Well,
that's why I think you owe me more than the chips in a bag of chips and a Coca-Cola.
Baby, I've given it all to you. Hey, you get no more. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. So if I went looking for him, would you support that?
Best I can. And I would have to, I'm willing to be there with you if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out. But
I mean, he slammed the door in my face. Get the fuck off his property.
Yeah, that was a possibility, a chance you took.
Nah, I ain't really tripping. But if you rich and you do want to come get me, I'm here.
Just being rich and, that ain't always the best thing.
You don't want a rich daddy.
He could be a rich daddy, but he could be a crazy son of a bitch. He could be a murderer. He could be a lot of things.
We grown now. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
But you don't know. You might be the first one he wants to put in the basement and kill.
Speaking of, it was Anna Nicole Smith. You remember her? Mm-hmm. I was watching her documentary, and she never had a relationship with her dad. She blew up and became Playmate of the Year. Her dad and her brother found her. Her daddy was like, "Oh my God, I'm your dad." She was so ecstatic to finally meet her father and finally be like, she took him to her big ceremony at the Playboy Mansion. He got to meet Hugh Hefner. He got to meet all these people. She was bringing him around these Hollywood circles because she was doing movies and stuff at the time. Why this man tried to sleep with her? Her own biological father, was around her at first, soaking up the glory and her excitement, and then tried to sleep with her.
He was a sick son of a bitch.
That's crazy. I just watched that in Nicole. That was a good movie. Y'all should watch it. On Netflix. about Anna Nicole Smith and her upbringing?
Because
Or her life?
her dad was a sick son of a bitch. Anybody that wants to have sex with their children or any minor or any
She was grown,
I
but
know, I'm
still.
just saying,
Yeah.
in any incestual scenario, situation, you got to be a sick son of a bitch.
And it really crushed her.
Yeah.
Her friend was like her. I didn't even know Anna Nicole had a lesbian lover, but the girl who, it kind of was like the Whitney and Robin, like they loved each other, but they really weren't together, and so she worked with her and just kept her close because she trusted her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she was like, "How do you feel?" and everything. Her, and she told the girl like, "I don't want to talk about it. Like, he was a jerk. He tried to sleep with me." And yeah, but the brother kind of denied it. Like, but the brother also said it sounded like him. I wouldn't be surprised.
So what does that say about his dads? What does it say about those characteristics, those traits? So I would suggest, if you want to find them, you can begin that search, but I doubt it that you'll probably be able to find them.
And men be disappointments.
Yeah.
Not all men, but the greatest disappointment that women be having sometimes be in men.
Yeah.
I don't even want to be let down like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to just leave him at, because what if he broke his...
Well, you find him and then you got to take care of him.
Oh, hell no. I'm going to just stick with the fantasy that I have in my head of him being this rich Parisian
Gas station
owner, yes, with liquor stores and rubies and golds, and he owned oil wells or something.
Okay.
And he rich as hell.
Okay.
And he just broke...
That's your fantasy in your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he be like, "Get out of my store."
Why does he have to own a store? I mean, come on.
Because all Middle Eastern people who be coming here owning gas stations.
You're getting the Middle Eastern mixed up with no, that's not true. You're getting the Middle Eastern mixed up a lot of time with the Indians. You're getting the two ethnicities.
But what do Middle Eastern people be having gas? Because of the oil.
No, not necessarily. No.
He an oil tycoon somewhere.
Okay, he's an oil tycoon.
That's why I'm used to why I like rich, nice luxury things. I can't even help it. It's like in my bloodline.
That's in your head. Then leave it. We're gonna leave it in your head.
Yeah, well, let's not ruin my fantasy.
Okay, we won't ruin your fantasy.
But like, did you ever, when you was going through that process, did you have any reservations about what you thought I would think or how I would feel at a certain age?
No.
Like, did you think about this when you was going through it? Like, eventually I'm going to have to tell her that this was a science project.
No, because you weren't in a science project. No. I didn't think about it like that.
How did you think that you was going to be, like, what you thought it was going to look like?
Well,
You thought I was used to go through life and never tell me?
no, I knew at some point in life I was going to tell you. Wait till you were mature enough to understand, and hopefully you understood why I chose to do it that way.
This lady told me that my daddy was in Iran, and I used to be like, "Why I can't go see him?" She was like, "Because you got a smart ass mouth, and they stone little kids. They stone women who talk like you. And while they do stone sometimes women in Iran, in Iraq are fighting for their rights, and I stand with y'all, my sisters." My Habibi sisters, but that was her excuse of why I could never go see my daddy or meet my dad. She was like, "If you go over there, you never gonna get to come back. So, or they gonna beat you because you talk too much." And I used to be like, "Damn, I'm glad I live in America." But it kind of was like far from the truth, but not too far.
Yeah,
because he wasn't there. But they do not give women their right.
Yeah, I don't know where he is. I mean, he could very well be there. He could be an oil tycoon. He could be many things. He could be, somebody on the corner. I don't know. I didn't care. That wasn't important to me because I knew going through that process, he would never be a part of your life. I was okay with that. I didn't have to worry about the in-laws. I didn't have to worry about the visitation. I didn't have to worry about any of that. It was easy. I was and I can say now that maybe it was selfish, but I had you all to myself, that
you don't even want me. What kind of shit is that? You don't even want me. That's some sick shit.
No, I did want you. That's why I had you. And I do want you.
You don't want to be
No. Do I want to take care of you for the rest of your life? No.
You should have thought about that.
See, no. At some point, you have
like
to
the people who go buy dogs and then go give them away to the pound. No, you shouldn't. That's what's wrong.
No, I held on to you. I didn't give you away to the pound till you was old enough to handle your own. You know.
That's awful. They should do screenings on people. Like, are you prepared to financially take care of this person for the rest of their life?
Oh,
I didn't
hell
ask to
no.
be here.
Oh, hell no.
But I didn't ask to
I'm
be
not
here.
gonna take care of you for the rest. Oh no, I've done my part. I've done my job. I took care of you till you were old enough to get out there and fend for yourself. You got an education, didn't you? I took care of you. I kept your room. I kept your a roof over your head, didn't I? I fed you. I clothed you. You know, you got a good college education. You came out debt free. I mean, come on. I bought you cars. I've done my part. I've done my part.
Well, you can't quit now.
I mean, I have
It's
to.
just getting good.
No, no. I have
Bills
to stop.
just cost.
No. I have to
It get
stop.
heavy.
I have to stop because I have to allow you to grow up and experience the world for yourself.
I'm tired of experiencing
Well,
this shit. I don't want to experience it no more. I want to be somebody else's responsibility. Well, you ain't gonna be my you
No.
or my rich Habibi daddy who owns a gas station somewhere.
No. You won't be my responsibility. I've done my part.
Well, I feel like it's time for you to step in, Father.
I've done.
Where art thou, Father? Okay? If and only if you are rich and in mental stability, come find me and take over some of these bills.
No, I don't.
I want to be somebody else's responsibility.
No, you got to be your own responsibility.
That's so exhausting.
Well, and that's life.
How do
baby.
you do this?
That's life. You got to get up every day and thank God that He's given you an opportunity to see another day. And you get an opportunity to try and make it right, try and make it better.
Well, I don't mind like getting up, like thank you God for waking me up, right? But every day to work, that's like obsessive. Like somewhere we gotta draw the line.
No, that's that millennial in you. Y'all think that everything's supposed to be just handed to you. You think that you're not supposed to work for anything. You millennials think that everything is supposed to be microwavable, everything's supposed to come at your disposal, and it's supposed to come when you want it. That's not the fucking reality. You gotta work for it. You gotta pay your dues. You gotta put in some sweat and some of your own hard work and labor for it.
Boo, tomato. Who wants to work that hard? I want to work. I don't mind working, but I don't feel like I should have to work every single day. I don't feel like I should work really, really hard. Like,
y'all really got it twisted.
I want to work maybe 15, 20 hours a week.
But then you want the reward of a fucking 120-hour paycheck.
Because I want to work smarter, not harder. I want to do the amount of work that it took you 120 hours to do. I want to do it in 20 because I'm really smart and innovative and creative. And then I want to get paid like I did it. Like, I want to get paid for the quality of work I do, not how long it took me to do it.
Well, guess what?
That's that worker mentality that they instilled into your generation. And that's why a lot of y'all are miserable. Not you, but a lot of people in that generation just work, go home, go to sleep. Get up, work, go home, go to sleep. Get up, work, go home, go to sleep. And they have no life. They have no identity outside of what they do because they have been a slave to a clock, a time clock.
But by the same token,
why these big corporations make all this money off of you and they pay you fucking peanuts?
Very well, then can create your own corporation. Come up with something that allow you to have that lifestyle that you want. But guess what? It's going to require some damn work. It ain't going to just fall out the sky.
I was about to say, that shit is a lot of work, too.
It's gotta come from somewhere. You can't just go out in the backyard and dig it up. You got to work. You got to put something in it.
I just wish I had like a genius idea that just really took off and then it paid for me.
Well,
I can sail the seven seas on my yacht.
You can. You just got to figure it out. You got to figure out what that genius idea is.
Hopefully it's mommy and me.
Well, you got to figure out what it is.
This don't feel like work.
You got to figure out what it is. You got to chase the dream.
I think I've been
and
doing
not
that.
the dollar.
I feel like I've been doing that. Like
chase the dream.
Chasing. I think millennials are really good at that, regardless if y'all want to give us credit or not. I think millennials are now at that point where we are starting to chase our goals or chase our dreams instead of chasing money, but finding a way to make you a lot of money for you. So like this don't feel like work.
That's fine. Maybe it doesn't, but the point I'm
just
making
waiting on
is
the money to come in.
You gotta make the money, baby. You gotta put in the work to make the money. It ain't gonna fall out the sky. Because if it fall out the sky, a lot of us have been working hard all of our years. We'd have it already. We're still working. But I don't mind getting up, going to work every morning. Getting up, going to work to do something I want to do every morning.
It got something I want to do.
Right. Now, I've shifted, I've pivoted several times in my life and my career, and I'm still willing to continue to pivot into different avenues, different careers, different aspects of life. But it's got to be something that I don't mind doing.
But even when I love doing what I'm doing, I still don't want to do it every day.
Everybody needs a break.
Yeah, I don't want to do it every day.
Everybody needs a break.
I still want to do it like 3 days out the week.
Yeah, everybody needs a break to step back and say, hey, look, let me do something else today.
I feel like in America, we deserve a 3-day weekend. Like the weekend should be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like we shouldn't have to go to work and do nothing. And we should spend time with our family and go grocery shopping and go to TJ Maxx.
Well, there's been studies that show that most people are more productive Monday through Thursday anyway.
Yeah.
Fridays, nobody's coming to work. They're working to get their paycheck. They're ready to go home. They're going to clock out. And they're not going to give the employer, 100% of nothing on Fridays.
But see, we made Fridays, the new Friday, Thursday. Then Thursday, they ain't going to be doing shit either.
So you're going to bump it up to Wednesday. Then Wednesday, you're going to bump it up Wednesday to Tuesday. But before you know it, you ain't nobody doing shit.
We ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
As long as something get done eventually.
No.
Now I'm just saying, I ain't afraid to work. But I don't want to work that hard. But back to my dad, do you feel like there's anything that I missed by not having him?
No. Because most men don't raise the children no way. The women do. I mean,
with the like steering upward.
No.
Right.
Because mostly, you didn't have, not to say that having a man in the house is going to be all bad or all good. You can get those qualities of just being a good person from a man or woman. Being a loving individual from a man or woman, So I will never say you got to have a man in the house in order for a kid to come up right. We know society, that's not true. You got to have a woman in the house. That's not true.
Right. What if he had showed up when I was like 14 and was like, give me this baby?
Well, he wasn't going to get you, first of all. I would have been hell no, but had he showed up at 14 and says, I've discovered that, that's my child and I want to be a part of her life. First of all, he's going to have to prove to me that, the DNA is going to have to prove that he is, in fact, who he is. And then once the DNA proves it, I would never stop you from having a relationship with him. But now if I'm about to fight you for him to take you across the waters, that's going to be a battle. At that point.
I would have went.
Okay, but then I would
get the hell away.
And then I would have warned you once you got over there. Don't come calling me back. Tell me I come over here undercover and send, the co-op.
You ain't never been over there. How you feel like?
No, I'm just telling you,
it's so hard to get back.
Look, if you had went over there and you couldn't get back, and they would kidnap you and all of that shit, then you were just gonna cause me more headache and problems, and I was going to really whip your ass once I did get a hold of it, because I told your little hard-headed ass not to go.
Black mamas always want to control everything.
No, I wasn't controlling, but
it's the mama somewhere acting just like that about her child going to the other side of town to see their daddy.
But if you put me through the unnecessary, if I warned you and told you and cautioned you and preached to you and tried to teach you and you still insist on doing something, yeah, I'm going to be pissed. I'm coming, but you're going to want that ass whooping when I get there. Because I told you.
So you going to whoop my ass for going to see my daddy and then wanting to come back home?
And I'm going to whoop your ass if I got to go through the troubles to get you back home.
But
now, if it's just a matter of you getting the flight, going over, visit, getting the flight, coming back, fine, no problems. But if you causing me unnecessary stress to get you back, yeah.
I'm like, Mom, but the plane ticket is like $1,500. And I don't want to be here. They're trying to make me wear the hijab. And it's messing up my baby hair.
Well, that I said, well, you just better get that $1,500 and you better do without your baby hair and come on back. That wouldn't...
Not do without your baby hair. What am I leave the baby hair at?
Yeah, well, to get some water and lay it down or whatever.
What you want to know?
No, let her want to know. I want to know, did you follow up on that when you did the DNA, um,
Like,
23andMe? Did you follow up on that relatives that you found? You didn't. You never followed up on that, did you? Okay.
okay, so those of y'all little backstory. If y'all don't know, you can watch my vlog on it. It's up on my channel now. But I did take a DNA test on 23andMe so I could find if I had any relatives related to my dad. And
Turns out you had 1,501 relatives.
but that was like both sides.
Yeah.
Fourth cousins, all the way back on both sides. But it showed me that I had a half sister by my dad, meaning me and her share the same dad. We had different moms, obviously. And like my first cousin on his side. So my half sister, we reached out, we connected, we messaged on the app, and I kind of ghosted her because she was like, I was like, oh, it says we're sisters. Where do you live? She was like, I live in Atlanta. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Me too. She lived in Midtown. And I was like, what made you want to do this process, like of going through 23andMe? And she was like, well, I've never met my dad, and I didn't know anything about him. And she said, I knew that I was mixed, but I didn't know what I was mixed with because my mom never told me nothing. So that let me know right there her mama didn't tell her none about how she was conceived. And then when she asked, well, what about you? I just left her on red since last July. It's a whole year now. That's crazy. But since last July, I left her on red because when she asked, what about you? I felt like, how I'm going to tell her, oh, yeah, I did this because our daddy was a sperm donor. And I wanted to know if it was anybody other siblings or relatives connected. I'm going to blow her whole spot up. Like, her mama don't know. Her mama didn't never tell her that she was conceived this way. So I felt like for a stranger to tell you that would be devastating.
Yeah. I can see that, but...
And then, I don't know her mental state, her emotional state. I don't know if her relationship with her mama, this could be the straw that break the camel back. Like, what if she feel like, oh my God, you're such a liar, I hate you, mom, and kill her mama or blow her brains out? Because she, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to deliver that news to a stranger via DM type message. Even though it was like on 23andMe, it wasn't on Instagram, but like direct message on there. I didn't want to, because I'm the type of person where I don't even like texting people heavy. Like when I gotta say with my partner, with my boyfriend, or with a friend, if I got a problem, I'm not finna text you that problem. I want to communicate face to face. I want you to hear my tone. I want you to see how I'm delivering the message. So I didn't want to give her such heavy news.
Well, I would say don't just leave her hanging out there.
I ghosted her.
I mean, to hit her back and say, well,
if you see this girl, my bad. Hey.
No, I would have handled it a little bit differently. I would have said, hey, why don't you do this? Go talk to your mom and then come back. And you and I can talk. Because she's looking, she's searching, she want to know. It's obvious that her mama didn't tell her. And now may be a time for her mom to just be open and honest with her. Now's the time for her to approach her mom and find out some things. I mean, I remember in my own life having done that, you know?
Oh, what, approaching your mama?
Yeah, about some things that my mama didn't want to necessarily deal with. But when she realized that I wasn't going away and, you know, I was...
How do you do that as a child? You're very curious. Not just busting the door and like, I know you're gay. Stop fucking lying to me. I did do that.
That wasn't quite your tone, because had you said, stop fucking lying to me, you probably would have been getting up off the floor. But the end of the day, that was a conversation we had, and now figured, okay, now she's asking these questions. Now she's ready for the answer.
But what do you think, as a parent, what do you think is the best way a child at whatever age? Because I was like 14, 15.
And I was more like about 8 or 9 when I approached my mother and asked her about some things in our life and our relationship and our family that she wanted to keep a secret. But I was very persistent, and I told her that I wasn't going to let it die. I just didn't let it die. And eventually she came clean and told us about some things. So it just depends on when that child has the mental capacity to understand what they're about to be told. When a parent feels that, you can communicate those things to your child, then you do it.
But a lot of parents don't ever feel like their child ready, even when the child is asking.
Well,
A lot of parents feel like stay in a child's place. You don't need to be asking me questions and da da da. So like, how do you?
Those are parents that really need to step back, and really realize and understand that if their children are asking certain questions, that may be the time that the children are ready for the answers. Even if you feel you don't want to tell them the answers or give them the answers because of whatever reasons, stop being selfish. Think about the child and the child's emotions and the child's feelings, and talk to the child. Because, at the end of the day, children can handle a lot more than we give them credit for.
They can.
So, you were asking questions, and I figured, oh, well, chances are she already knows. So let's just cut through the chase, cut through the bullshit, and let's just have a real grown-up conversation. And that's what we did.
I knew you was gay since I was like 5 years old.
Okay.
But you didn't tell me till 10 years later.
Okay, when you got to it, I thought you had the mental capacity.
But I already had the mental capacity.
Okay, maybe you did, but I didn't know you did.
And if you would have told me at 5, I would have reacted the same way I reacted when you told me.
I didn't know that as a parent.
Well, you should have.
Well, maybe I should have, but I didn't.
And I think parents who are afraid to like be that honest and vocal with their kids.
But I will tell you,
I think parents who are afraid to be that honest and vocal with their kids, you got to give yourself more credit. If you've taught your children how to comprehend or be compassionate or be understanding, then you got to trust that they can handle whatever it is that you're telling them in that moment.
Well, I will tell you this. I have learned that children can accept and comprehend things at a much, much younger age than what we think they can. Because even now, Morgan is 9 years old. I never thought or even gave it any thought, even conceive her understanding that me and her nanny baby are in a relationship, or we love each other, or we married, She been knowing that shit since she was 2 and 3 years, since she could say no. She knows.
What do you think? How did you know? Like, what did she be saying? Like, how you know she know?
At one time, she told we were having a debate in the car, and she flat out said she was trying to make us apologize for what we were saying to one another. And in her mind, she says, Mama, you need to apologize to Nanny Baby, and Nanny Baby, you need to apologize to Mama. So I said, no, I'm not apologizing. I'm not doing it. And then she says, she looks at Nanny Baby. She says, Nanny Baby, do you want me to find you another wife? And she looks at me and says, Mama, do you want me to find you another wife? And we look at each other, what the hell you mean find us another wife, But then she came back and she says, well, okay, you guys need to apologize for each other. So I said, okay, I'm sorry. And then I'm sorry, because, it was a heated conversation. And then, she looks at she looks at my wife, and my wife, and she tells her, she said, well, Nanny Baby, you need to apologize. And she says, Nanny Baby says, I'm not going to do it. And she looks at her, she said, now that's a problem. And Morgan was probably about 5 or 6, and it was so funny. But what it taught us and showed us that kids are not stupid.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. I'm thinking, what the hell she know about finding another? And before that, she made some comment about, we were at home and we were just getting ready and getting dressed, and there was something come up about a little boyfriend. And she says to us, no, I'm not going to get a boyfriend until I'm married like you. And Nanny Baby like, what the hell, So it was
she done told me before, she was like, I want somebody to love me how Mama love Nanny Baby.
Right.
And I was like, I want somebody to love me like that too.
Right. So they get it. That's what they see. And she's 9 now, but she was what? 4, 5, they know, she recognizes love. So that's what kids, they want to know. They see it.
Yeah.
They know when there's love in the house and when there's not love in the house. They know when people love each other, when they don't love each other. So I think it's important. And so when you realize your child has that mental capacity to comprehend and understand, then I think that's the time you have those difficult conversations with them.
Do you think that what's more important, love or genetics,
Love,
when it comes to raising children?
love.
Like, what about in the old days when they used to like arrange marriages?
That was horrible. I'm glad I wasn't in that time, in that era. They did it for all
A lot of
wrong
people
reasons.
grew to love them people.
They grew to love. Yeah, they grew, but I don't want nobody choosing somebody for me to love because, he could be anything. It reminded me of The Color Purple, with Miss Celie laid up in the bed with, her husband. She said, well, all he do is do his business. She had no connection. I
Yeah.
want that. I want a connection with somebody.
Do you think you can grow to have a connection?
Maybe if there's something that attracts you to in the beginning, if there's something there, something that, there's an interest there. I don't want nobody just put me with somebody just because you put me with them.
Yeah.
No, I think love is more important because love conquers all.
Well, what about when you have children, not just for your own pleasure? Like, what if we love each other, but this is a bad mate? Like, you know what I mean? Like, genetic wise, like breeding. Like, when it comes to breeding, like, you breed the best with the best, like survival of the fittest type thing. Like,
First of all, I don't think having children is a matter of breeding.
I mean, it technically, scientifically is.
Yeah, but I guess
I'm just saying, what's more important, finding a mate that you genuinely love or finding a mate that you want to have children with because they have a certain qualities?
I guess that's a personal preference. I mean, because when you think about it, I kind of participated in that.
You bred me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
You
I
bred
tried
me
to
based
go
on a certain set of qualities. There was no
criteria.
love involved in that.
No, it wasn't.
But I think I'm dope as hell.
Yeah, I mean,
So thank God you wasn't in love with a dumbass nigga somewhere, or like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, you wasn't just in love and there was no thought. I think I am cooler in my,
I'm sure you think that highly of yourself, but
because you put a little bit more thought into it than just how you felt about somebody.
yeah, that's true. But there were no options for me to feel anything, first of all. And second of all, you still came down to love. Because even picking those qualities that I thought were the best for me, I still had to, there was some reasoning behind that. And I'd like to think that those reasons were built out of love. The foundation of those reasons were love.
I mean, I guess it was love for me, but you didn't know me. I don't know. It's really confusing.
Well, I'm sorry.
I mean, not confusing, but it's like I can always go down a rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm. And we all can. But sometimes we have to reel ourselves back in.
But I do date like that. Like, even though I love you, I'm still looking for, well, I'm not actively looking, but I'm saying when I think about who I want to have a child with, I think about,
Oh yes, you know what?
those
And
qualities.
those are conscious decisions.
Yeah, like,
And
I don't know, like,
all
she's
should
not the brightest crayon in the
right.
box.
And I think every woman should do that. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that's a flaw. Hey, look, you dating this guy, he ain't got, he ain't the smartest cookie in the bunch, but do you want to have kids by him, or do you think that this guy had the qualities to be a good dad, or does he have those male survival traits that men should be taught? Does he, is he a provider? I think that you're doing the right thing by evaluating whoever you're with to see if you want to have kids by that person, because at the end of the day, you're gonna be stuck with them, good or bad, for a very, very, very long time. Just because the kids are grown don't mean that you ain't gonna see him. You pull up at the family picnic, whether you want him there or not, he may be there. You may be with somebody else. He may be with somebody else, but because of you being the common denominator, he's gonna be there. So do you want to go through
Graduations, weddings.
right? So do you want to go through life with that bitterness in your heart, or I don't want to see him, I hate him, I this that, So maybe that may not be the person you ought to have. If you could leave a relationship and still love that person enough to where it's okay for you to be in their company because I mean, that's a different thing. But if you think you're going to hate the ground that person walk on after you've had children with them, maybe you better not ought to get with them.
But you don't know you going to hate somebody until it's over with.
And then, you don't know you're going to hate them. But
you don't know nobody until y'all break up, for real.
Well, maybe that's true for real. That is true. Unfortunately,
you don't know nobody until y'all break up, because that's when you really get to see how they act, how they feel, how they really think about you, how petty they gonna be, how nasty they are, how they act when they don't get their way, when they feel like they losing. That's their real character.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I know plenty of instances where that has.
You be like, damn, me? I never thought you would treat me like that.
Right. Even in my past relationship, that something was said to me, and I thought, well, damn, I've never given you a reason to feel that way about me or think that I wouldn't be the person to do the right thing. So that hurt. But that was to the extent that I've experienced. But then, I know, even my partner now, when she was going through a breakup in her previous relationship, the girl got all crazy, was, acting all crazy, doing all kind of dumb shit, saying all kind of crazy stuff. So it happens. It's real, and people are crazy. Unfortunately, they are, but, it is what it is. So I don't think you're wrong for thinking about all those things. You just try to do the best you can. Pick the very best you can pick out of the litter,
Well, I think it's time for I Want to Know.
Okay.
We're at that time in the episode. Every episode we end it with I Want to Knows. And, but I do have it for the record before we go. For the record, where we set the record straight. For the record, I don't feel like I missed out on anything growing up, like fundamental-wise, of having a father. The only time that I feel like I could use one is when it comes to dating, because I want to know from a man's perspective how to reach a man, but also from a man that I know loves me unconditionally and doesn't want anything from me and wants the best for me. But it's not trying to get nothing from me, like not trying to get in my pants or get me to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
that's the only time I feel like, damn, I wish I had a dad, is when it comes to dating. But for the record, for those of y'all who don't know or are curious, I don't feel like I missed him growing up at all. As you can see, even the siblings, I didn't even want to know them or meet them because I felt like, fuck it.
For the record, I think that I did. I think I chose the best that I could choose out of the pickings that I had. And I think that the qualities that I chose were qualities that were important to me. And for the record, if I had an opportunity to do it again, I would do it exactly like I did it before.
Would you do it again? Like, okay, wait, okay. So it's time for I Want to Know. And this part of the episode is where she asks me something she want to know. I ask her something I want to know. We got to be all the way honest with it. So go ahead, go first.
I want to know, how did you say, you always say, I knew when you were about 5 years old that I was gay. I mean, how did you know? What was it about it that made you know?
Well, I have an older sister, and my sister we were staying on Bourne, and I was the chapel off Bourne Court, and I remember her remember the kitchen and the house phone, you had like, the kitchen phone was over there, and she was sitting at the table, and I think it was at night, and I was eating something, and she was on the table talking, cupcaking with some dude, and she was like, yeah, my mama gay. She's telling some little boy her business, and she was in high school at the time. Like, I was probably like 4 years old. And when she hung up, I was like, what you mean your mama gay? What's gay? And she was like, very nonchalant. She was like, you know how you got a mama and a nana? That's not normal. Everybody else got a mama and a daddy. But you got two mamas? That's gay. And she just left. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Right? And then it was like kindergarten where I really knew that it was something different. Like I was like, okay, whatever. I just got two mamas. Like some people get that, some people don't. Like she didn't go into detail. But it was kindergarten when I started to have friends and their parents would say things or ask things. And that's when I realized like, oh, this is really not normal. Like I didn't know this wasn't normal. I thought like, you know what I mean? You think how you grow up is normal. That's how everybody grow up, like with two parents or two people in the household. Whether some people, I don't even think I thought like, how many people get like two moms or how many people get two dads or what the odds were. But I just knew that it was, by the time I got in kindergarten, I knew it was weird or different because other people projected and would ask me questions like, do you see them kissing? Or do your mom sleep in the same bed? Or people would tell me like, oh, my friend, I've had friends say, oh, I can't come over to your house. And I'd be like, why? And they'd be like, well, because my mama said that I'll be influenced, or because your parents are gay, or just straight out like that. And I'm like, okay, my house bigger than yours, but what, I really didn't get it. But I knew it. You know what I mean? I think it was from other people telling me,
trying to impose their negativity and
yeah, or questioning it, or curious or scared about it. That made,
other than coming to the adult, they were trying to get their questions answered through 5 years.
Yeah. And people even started to tell me like, you're gonna be gay, right? To the point that I thought it was gonna kick in. Like my first, like most little girls you like, or people, what you like early on. Like even though I had never had like a kiss or sexual encounter, I knew I liked Lil Bow Wow. I knew I liked B2K. I knew I liked boys. Like, oh, he cute, But I remember the first crush I had was the pastor's son. And I remember telling the older lady at church, that's my boyfriend, he just don't know it yet. And she was like, what? And I was like, he gonna be my boyfriend, he don't know it yet. And I was like 5. So I knew, you know what I'm saying? I was in them early ages where I knew I liked boys, but people told me I was gonna be gay so much because of you. I felt like, well, maybe in puberty I'm gonna morph into this. I'm gonna change, shapeshift or something.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
But you can't catch it. It's not COVID.
Disease.
It's not COVID.
Yeah.
It's not. But I do be thinking, now hear me out, I think there might be like a gay gene.
Oh.
Because a lot of people, like you were gay and then your brother was gay. I meet a lot of people, especially when they have a lot of kids, sometimes they be having a girl and a son that's gay. So it's like,
maybe there's a gene out there.
yeah.
I'm not getting into the science of it. I don't know. If there is, there is. If there isn't, there isn't, And I'm not worried about it. I don't put a lot of energy in things that I can't explain. I'm not trying to, it is what it is.
But I feel like you like what you like. Ain't nobody have to tell me to like boys. Ain't nobody have to tell you to like girls. Ain't nobody have to tell you how to like chocolate. Ain't nobody have to tell you you like vanilla. Nobody had to tell you why you like red velvet cake or why you don't like seafood. It's just what your preferences are, and that's just who you are. That's just how you built as a person.
Right. And I'm not here I wasn't sitting here to judge anybody for liking whatever they like, and I don't give a damn if they judge me for liking whatever I like. My goal on this life is to be happy, to be as productive as I can, and to teach my children and anybody else how to become happy, successful, and productive, and try and help as many people we can along the way.
Yeah, I just want people to stop being so judgmental, so ignorant, and just be open-minded to other experiences other than the ones you have experienced.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, this has been another episode of Mommy and Me. Make sure you are subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing our videos with your mama, your friend, your daughter, your baby mama, your grandma. Everybody got a mama, so everybody can really watch these episodes.
And hopefully we've said something that maybe you've been curious about, or something you've thought about, or never had the courage to ask, or maybe you've got some things you want to share with your parent, your mother, your father. Just we want to encourage you to be open, to be honest, and to just, to engage one another, to communicate with one another. Know the importance of having these conversations and relationships with your mother, your daughters, your family members.
And if you scared, put an episode, be like, Mom, I want you to watch this with me, and put an episode on, and maybe she'll see like, okay, maybe my child will take my honesty, or maybe I can't take their honesty. Like, let this be an example.
Because I've learned there's more than one way to doing anything. And my way is not necessarily always the right way.
Ooh, say that again.
My way is not necessarily the right way.
Because I remember growing up, it's my way or the highway.
Well, I had to take that position back then as a parent. Sometimes as a parent, you got to put that foot down.
It's going to only be one way in this house. It's my way.
Absolutely.
Or no way.
And when you got to the point where you were able to pay the bills in the house, then I was willing at that point to sit back and listen to your way.
But you paid your bills, baby. Your bills are too high.
Right.
I'm struggling paying mine.
So at that point, it was going to be my way.
What is your way at your house?
That's right. My way at my house.
And my way at mine.
And hallelujah, at your house. You're right. Your house.
Like
we can respect.
No,
we can't move in together. Them days have come and gone. No, man, we can't even move in together.
What about you old?
Because see, then you're gonna be trying to tell me how is your way, and it ain't gonna be your way in my house.
Boo, boo, boo. See, some habits die hard. All right. Well, that's been another episode of Mommy and Me. Like I said, make sure you just watching every single episode. We thank y'all for spending your Monday with us. And until next time,
Peace.